UFC 322 has just wrapped up, and it was turning out to be such a good card until the core main and main event took place, where it was literally an hour of hugging. But this is a video on fights I want to see next and a recap slash reaction. In the main event, Islam Makhachev laid on top position for 25 minutes, and then he got his second belt. It was boring, it was dull, there was literally no moment of significance in the slightest. It was super dull, super boring, and that certain fan base is obviously acting like they're different, even though they're not even from that region of the world. They're from like literally the other side of Asia. But you know, let them have their W because they've got no representation inside the sport. But yeah, there's nothing I can really say. It was boring. There's nothing to really talk about. But the fight I want to see next is Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria, and I'll tell you why I want to see this fight. There is literally zero contenders for Makhachev at welterweight. Like, obviously you got Michael Morales, but I think he's beaten like two ranked opponents. I don't want to see that. Prates, he's on the 2-fight winning streak, and he just beat Leon Edwards, who's on a skid. I think he needs at least one more win, one more knockout. Obviously we've got Ian Garry next weekend. We'll see how that goes. Probably just another boring decision. Obviously Belal isn't getting a title shot anytime soon. He's just lost the belt and he won't fight his friend. So I just think we should just get this Topuria fight over and done with. We've been waiting for it for months and months and months. And obviously Islam has to give himself all the advantage he can possibly get when fighting a knockout artist. You know, he's got to drag up the former featherweight up two weight classes to fight him, for him to even say, yes, I will fight Ilia Topuria. It's actually sad and coward. It's such a coward move, you know what I mean? We should have fought him back in fucking June instead of Oliveira, but no, I don't want nothing to do with that guy when he's powerful. I want everything to do with him when I'm fully together and not drained, while my opponent is like fucking a weight class smaller than me, or 2 weight classes smaller than him, because he looks small against Oliveira. So I reckon we should just get this fight over and done with. It's big. Ilya will hype it up. You never know. Ilya might just like be the only guy who can get like 3 knockouts in 3 divisions, other than McGregor. You never know. But even McGregor was too small for welterweight. So yeah, we'll just see how this goes. On to the co-main event. Shevchenko did the exact same thing and laid and bored out the entire arena by laying and hugging Weili against the fence. I'm not saying this because I got my predictions wrong, by the way. It was genuinely boring. Like, if Shevchenko head kicked her or something, and like, I don't know, Islam dash choked JDM, I wouldn't be bothered. But they don't. They just lay and bore out the entire arena. Like, we were actually excited for these fights, and they just underwhelmed so much. It was boring. But anyway, the next fight I want to see is against Natalia Silva. I don't actually want to see it. It's just the only fight that really makes sense. She said she wanted the winner of like Kayla Harrison and what's her name, Amanda Nunes. It's just like, that would just don't do that. You're pretty much fighting like proper men at that rate, so just don't. But yeah, another terrible fight. But anyway, now we're on to actual fun fights for the rest of the card, essentially. So, Michael Morales and Sean Brady. I've always said this about Sean Brady. If you're going to quit to strikes via Belal Muhammad, you will quit against anyone powerful. And I knew it. I just knew Michael Morales was going to win. But for some reason, I still chose Brady. I don't know why I done that. It's annoying me too, because up until this point, the only fight I got wrong was the Wellmaker fight. But yeah, let's just get straight into the fight. Brady started out trying to like dot around him, trying to create angles and these really awkward fakes where his hand wasn't even in a fist, so you could just tell it wasn't a real fake. It was really awkward. And Michael Morales just kind of blitzed forward, hit him with 1-2 pretty much essentially over and over and over again. He rocked him, And when he rocked him, I'd expect Sean Brady being a grappler to shoot because that's their natural instinct. But no shot from Sean Brady. He just kind of kept his guard up and just tried to stay alive for the rest of the round. And he just kind of wilted to the next shot and went to the floor and died. I knew this was going to happen, and for some reason I still chose Sean Brady. The exact same thing. I knew Islam was going to hold JDM down, but I think my bias overtook. But yeah, that's what happened in that fight. And for a matchup next, I want to see Michael Morales versus Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is not getting the title shot. He beat Buckley. I know Buckley was on this kind of trajectory in the division, but you don't deserve a title shot after losing to Leon Edwards twice in Chimaev. Obviously, Chimaev, that was a good performance in hindsight, but you've won one fight, you need at least another fight. I'd argue even 2 fights, but yeah, this is the fight I want to see next. Morales versus Usman, and I guess this can be for a title shot, and yeah. On to the next fight, which was Prates versus Leon Edwards, and Leon Edwards was doing so fucking well. He was doing so well, and then yeah, Prates just hits different. Honestly, the first round, I was like, I knew it was going to be an Ung performance. It just happens every time. Every time there's an Ung fighting an up and comer, they just win. Usman, Volk, Beneil Dariush. It happened every time. There's loads of examples of this year, and I was like, well, this might be a Leon Edwards thing here. And instead, that was about to happen. And then Prates just flings a cross down the centre, puts Edwards mid-air. Well, everyone's saying how hard does Prates hit. He lifted Leon Edwards in the air. Edwards kind of hopped backwards, and as he hopped backwards, he got hit with a shot. He didn't actually have airtime. It's just these glazers, man. But Prates, he's probably the hardest hitter ever, pound for pound. This power is weird. He touches people and they go out cold. It's not normal. And I think he's a problem for anyone in the division. So the person I want to see him next, I want to see Prates versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, because Shavkat is boring and he's very hittable, and this is how we can get a boring guy out of the division forever, is we give him a powerful guy who hits like Ngannou but at welterweight, and we can just have him knocked out by Prates, and we never have to deal with him again, because Prates would have knocked him out and he would be back. He'd have to get his win streak back up to get a title shot. And it takes him far, far away from ever touching a belt. So this is the fight I want to see next for Prates. On to the next fight, which was Benoit Saint-Denis versus Beneil Dariush. And this was the first fight of the main card, and this set the precedent of what we wanted for this card. And yeah, the co-main and main event did not live up to it, but the other fights did. And yeah, he literally got a 16-second knockout. There's nothing much to really speak about. They were going back and forth on leg kicks and just bang, he's dead. Beneil Dariush is just dead on the canvas. I did make the mistake, I need to address this then. I did put on Twitter it was an early stoppage, because to me, I thought Dariush was trying to get back up. It kind of looked like he fell and he tried to lift himself back up, but in reality he did get slumped out and walk straight back up to the ground and pound shot. So it wasn't anything like that. It was literally just him trying to get up. And yeah, Beneil Dariush, he's got a weird chin. Sometimes he just knocks motherfuckers out, and then the next time he's just dead. He's just slumped out. He's got a weird chin in the first round. It's been a thing in his entire career. And a fight I want to see next for Benoit Saint-Denis is Gamrot. We missed out on a grappling match because he knocked him out so early. So let's do a Gamrot fight. Obviously, Gamrot's coming off the Oliveira fight where he got choked out, but it's Oliveira. That's to be expected. So, and he took it on 2 weeks' notice. Realistically, he wanted to fight up in the rankings and give him some sort of reward for taking the fight so early and not ruining the real card. But I understand. I do understand it. I do understand it. So I think that we should make this fight, and whoever wins should get a top 5 opponent. Now we're on to the losers of the card, and we're going to start off with the main event loser, Jack Della Maddalena. And he's 29, right? People are like talking shit about him. He's 29. He can become champion again, and I believe he will become a champion again, looking at the rest of the division. That Prates fight is very scary. But Jack Della Maddalena, yeah, he could have like tried to move more. He did look like he was taking breaks for moments on the ground, or maybe he was just hesitant because of the Darce talk everyone talks about. But I really just think that just Islam was just too strong for him. He's just gonna lay there and just fucking cousin on cousin marriage for years upon years. And yeah, there's nothing you can really do when someone's that strong and he's holding on to you, and there's nothing you can do. He's just got like bare hug squeeze. He's just got mong strength. There's nothing you can do. And also, it wouldn't surprise me if like Jack had some sort of like rib injury, some sort of like spinal injury or something, because he was grimacing in a lot of these scrambles and stuff. As well, he did look like he kind of shit the bed a bit, like in the moment. He just kind of, well, the minute he got in the cage and the bell rang, he just kind of didn't look himself. Ironically, neither did Bilal, but like that's Bilal. But yeah. And the fight I want to see next for Jack Della Maddalena is Ian Garry. I think Ian Garry wins next weekend against Bilal Muhammad, and I think Jack Della Maddalena, I should fight Ian Garry. You know, there's a bit of, I guess you could call it animosity there. You know, with I don't think that's Ian's son, but yeah, you could make this fight. It's like the only fight that really makes sense for Jack, other than like Prates or something. But I don't want to see Jack school him and then get knocked out. You know, I wouldn't like that. So Ian Garry would be quite a fun matchup. Now let's talk about Sean Brady. Sean Brady is probably one of the bestest, one of the best grapplers in the division, technically, right? But his problem has always been his grit. The minute this guy takes a hard shot, he just wilts and quits. Like, I've got him here. I want him to see him against Buckley next. You know, two very short but built like fucking little stocky fucking men, you know what I mean? But this is the only problem with Brady, is that I could definitely see Brady completely out grappling Buckley and just beating him. But if Buckley lands one shot, Brady's just gonna quit. That's his only problem. And even his striking, he was like trying to like emulate a Volkanovski, it looked like. And the minute he got hit with a hard shot, he went back to just guard up, just survive, oh, I'm out cold. You know, and it's just like, how many times can I see you in that exact same position? At least this time he kept on moving, but he could have threw a shot at least. And it's frustrating watching Brady lose, because there's just moments where you're just like, you got rocked, at least shoot a takedown. You know what I mean? Like, that's your bread and butter. And especially since like Morales was like over lunging on his shots, could have easily just shot a takedown and got him there and got him recovered quite easily, but he never. And that's the issue with Sean Brady. So yeah, let's see him against Buckley. I reckon he beats Buckley, but if Buckley lands one shot, he probably wilts again. Now it's time to talk about Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards. This is the guy who I was going to choose to beat Islam Makhachev if that fight ever happens. Leon Edwards. And do you know what? To be fair to him, he looked good in this fight in the first round. He got to his back, he had the standing, the back take. He was actually landing the better kicks, the better striking shots. But Prates, he just hits too hard. It's actually unfair. I've always said this, right? If you're a fighter and you have power, you don't need to be good at fighting. You just need to be good at landing the shot. And that's what Prates really is, to be fair. And he is good technically at setting it up. But Leon Edwards in like a tap-for-tap fight would probably win. But because Prates has such a power advantage, it's just crazy. He just hits you and you die. And I put this on Twitter. Leon Edwards probably has the worst downfall in UFC history. He went from a champion, which everyone was like, he's probably one of the best pound-for-pound fighters. I saw a clip of Chael Sonnen talking about how he's probably the best fighter ever, but he just doesn't have the confidence, which, that's a bit far-fetched. But he's got a point. But I put this on Twitter. He has one of the worst downfalls ever. He loses split decision to Belal Muhammad. Belal fucking Muhammad. And then he gets submitted by Sean Brady. And then he gets knocked out by Prates. That is literally the 3 ways you can possibly lose. Next, he's going to lose a unanimous decision. And then he's lost every way he can. Maybe next after that, it will be a fucking DQ loss. And then he's lost every way you can. He's going to go on a Tony Ferguson downfall. And it is that confidence thing. It is like, if he doesn't know he's going to win a fight, he's probably going to lose. That's the kind of gist I got off it. And for Leon next, I guess you have to make him versus Bonfim. Bonfim got a knockout on last weekend, I believe, or a couple of weekends ago. And yeah, if Edwards doesn't want to retire, I guess you've got to give him Bonfim, because there's no one else he can really fight. You're on a 3-fight skid. You've got to fight it up and coming now, and they're all dangerous. And that's the problem. And Bonfim probably knocks him out as well. It's going to be a very sad downfall for him. A very bad downfall. He's going to have like a Tony Ferguson-esque downfall unless he just retires, which is probably his best bet. He's made his money when he was the champion. He has a lot of sponsorship deals still. You know, it is sad to watch. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. And for the last one, Dariush, and I think we should see Dariush against Sal Killed. And Dariush, man, because he took so much time off between his knockout losses, which he had to do for medical reasons, he's just aged 100 years in that time. His chin has always been chinny, and now it's just like, if someone lands a jab on him, he might get knocked out. If someone takes him down and his head slides slightly off the mat, he might get knocked out. And there's so many people outside of the lightweight division that are just waiting for ranked opponents. Like, Ziam should be fighting Chandler. Nazim should be fighting like someone just outside the rankings for a spot at 15, I guess. And Dariush is one of them guys where it's just like, they don't like you particularly, and they're probably going to give you some dangerous guy. And I saw about apparently Sal Killed is going to be fighting Rufi. No, Rufi should be fighting someone else. Rufi just lost his ranking spot, and I think Sal Killed deserves it. He's knocked out from the 3 people in a row. You know, he deserves to win this fight. I don't really see a point for it. So I think we should make Sal Killed versus Dariush for a spot in the rankings. But yeah, these are the fights I want to see next. Let me just see if there's any fights that I've missed out or anyone I can mention real quick. Wellmaker's no longer undefeated. He lost to some other guy, I've forgotten his name already. I reckon you could put that guy against someone like a Ricky Simone, I guess. Wellmaker can get against Saeed Nurmagomedov or something like that. Roman Kopylov lost. I think Roman Kopylov is shit. I reckon, you know what? Let's have Russian on Russian violence, right? Put him against Ikram. You know what? Just give him Ikram, right? Even though Ikram should probably be in the rankings, but you know, hey-ho. And then Gregory Rodriguez, give him Vettori, see if he can crack that chin. And Bo Nickel, let's give Bo Nickel Sharon Magomedov, and you can give him a fraud checking. And yeah. But yeah, that's the video. Like, subscribe, and comment the fights that you want to see next.